On my business card, I am a corporate president. In my mind, I am a game developer. But in my heart, I am a gamer.
We still miss you, Iwata. Ah, video games, mankind's greatest invention. Only way to escape the no void in society. I am the poet. No, I am the oppressed. I am a gamer.
How did you get to be such a good pilot?
Well... Hey, Coop, she's jacking your ride.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Gurbani here, and if you're like me, you like to play video games. And who doesn't like to play video games? It's one of the biggest sources of entertainment, with thousands of companies making millions of games. But with them stats, what happens when once a favorite game dies? Will they stay dead? And with the company not working on it? Well, I'm here to share some love for these games. That's right, these are my 5 games that need to be re-released. So sit back, grab your remote, and let's play some video games.
Hey, go back to Kentucky, farm boy. Locals only.
You ever just mad at the world and want to show them what type of villain you can really be? And you want to take that in a bear form? Well, I got the game for you, Naughty Bear, an action-adventure game that was released in 2010 for the PS3 and Xbox 360. In this game, you play as Naughty Bear, and you live in Paradise Island. Sounds nice, I know. Beautiful acres, rent non-existent. Hell, the water will taste like Skittles. But in the island is inhabited by other bears. And one day they didn't invite Naughty Bear to one of the bears' birthday. The way he does, well, he calmly goes up to the other bears and let them know how he feels and how that hurt him. Just kidding. He goes on an all-bear rampage. He commits a gruesome scene. Yeah, this game takes a whole 180 real quick. Your whole goal is to kill the other bears who didn't invite you to his birthday. And the mechanics of the game is so interesting for the time it came out, with so many different ways of killing a bear. Either you can hack with slash like Jason Voorhees, or bust a hitman and sneak up to one of the bears and take the kill. Honestly, this game has so many different ways of killing. It rivals Dead Rising. And don't worry, the other bears don't just, get scared. They would and will fight back if they catch you trying to kill another bear. While playing this game, I honestly think the funniest thing to do sometimes is just to sneak up to one of the bears and scare them, and then, commit the crime. And if you're worried about how violent this game is, I got you covered. The bears, they're stuffed animals. So no blood, no guts, just stuffing. Naughty Bear was published by 505 Games, better known for other games such as Sniper Elite 3, Payday 2, and DBD. That trash survival game that I like playing every night with my homies? Can't be. Honestly, finding out that DBD and Naughty Bear has a connection, I can actually see the comparisons with both games, and I think having Naughty Bear be a Switch title would fit. Killing a Build-A-Bear looking bitch on the go will make my day a little more naughty. Alright, peep this. It's the early 2000s and you're Jack Black. After making a bunch of movies and the popularity of Kung Fu Panda, what do you do next? Well, you start your own video game. Duh. Brutal Legends is an action-adventure game where you play as Eddie Riggs, is the world's best roadie for the world's worst metal band. If you don't know what a roadie is, I'm sorry that you don't know what a roadie is. Well, a roadie basically is just someone that hangs out with the band and basically fixes everything and doesn't get any appreciation. During a set, one of the band members climbs up a set piece that Eddie tells him not to. Being the world's best roadie, Eddie manages to save the band member, but sadly dies saving him, going down in history as the best. Then you wake up in heavy metal world. That's where you meet Ophelia. Was this game an awakening for my type of girl? I don't know.
Oh man, don't tell me I've been slaying hot girls this whole time.
But what I do know is that this game is an open world hack and slash with unique villains. Eddie uses an axe for blunt hits, and it coexists as a guitar for more special attacks. They're called solos. Each solo could do some crazy stuff like summoning and melting enemies, and later you could do upgrades for more abilities and even do combos with it. In the game, you join a faction called the Ironheads, where you help to take down the demons. Brutal Legends was developed by Double Fine Productions. If you don't know who they are the development team that made Psychonauts. I'm not surprised. I actually love this art style that Brutal Legends uses. It's a style based off album covers. It's honestly one of the more pleasing styles I've seen in a long time in video games. While this game being involved with heavy metal, you think there's gonna be some big names, and you're correct. Other than Jack Black, others such as Lemmy Kilmister, Rob Halford, and even Ozzy Osbourne did some voice work for the game. My boy Ozzy sure loves his video games.
I've been riding a crazy train, but I've been the Prince of Darkness since 1979.
There can be only one S.
The reason I put Brutal Legends this low on the list because you can find Brutal Legends on Steam, but I feel like a second console release would give it the Crash Bandicoot treatment, and maybe they could go forward with a sequel that they planned on doing but that got canceled by EA. Yeah, that's just brutal.
I'm supposed to think you're a nun, but I know you're really some kind of big ugly demon, so let's have it. Aha! Knew it! Big ugly demon.
Kind of sexy, though, in a weird way.
If you had the power to time travel, what would you do? Would you make some type of change to history, making something better for mankind? Or have an all-out shootout with the Hunchback in the Vatican? Oh yeah, my third entry is a personal favorite of mine, and that is Timesplittles. Which one? Well, all of them. You could say I'm cheating, but it's my list, right? I mean, if you want to be fair, the first game doesn't really have a story, and the second and third games are the ones that I'm gonna talk about mostly. So, let's go. Timesplittles takes place in the year 2401, not too far from 2024, honestly. In the middle of an all-out war between humans and Timesplittles, an alien race set for world dominations, you play as two space marines. Using time crystals to change history, you play as Sergeant Cortez, who only looks like Vin Diesel in that one series that no one likes to talk about too much. I don't know why. And Corporal Hart, a cyborg mama. During the second game, they get sent out to a space station, but is overrun by Timesplittles. Seeing that the Timesplittles got all the crystals, Cortez and Hart uses the time portal, going into different time periods to get back the crystals before they get taken by Timesplittles. Timesplittles was developed by Free Radical Design, a company that was formed by some members who was in Rare Games, the company behind Donkey Kong, Banjo-Kazooie, and even GoldenEye. And you can see the inspiration between GoldenEye's mechanics and Timesplittles. After the release of the first game and the lack of story, Free Radical made sure the second game had more of a fulfilling storyline alongside the arcade and a map maker mode. Timesplittles 2 was developed over a 23-month period, with it getting a 9.1 out of 10 on IGN. This series was really popular back in the early 2000s. When I used to play this game back when I was younger, I used to always play Capture a Flag with a team full of monkeys. Oh yeah, this series was crazy with the character selection. From Marines to robots, you even got the Hunchback. And one of my favorite characters was this homeless guy who thinks he's a robot called R107, who was literally the fastest person to pick in the game. Side note, I remember I was such a fan of this series. I think like in 9th grade, I made a mask of R107 for art class. I don't have the mask because it was just cardboard, but if I could find a picture, I'll post it up here. But making that mask and having no one know what that was kind of like a realization that this game's dead. This series is gone. So after Timesplittles 3, Timesplittles 4 was in the talks. Has been in development forever actually, but got delayed after Free Radical was bought out by Crytek in 2009. After that, the whole IP has been put on hold. During an interview with Crytek, they claimed that they would continue the series if there was a high demand for it. So don't hold your breath. But on May 19, 2021, Deep Silver announced that a new game is being developed by the Free Radical gang. So it looks like Timesplittles still has some time, but it looks like I'm running out of time. I'll talk about more video games after this.
Time to split!
I'll get the next one.
With zombies being the it thing before superheroes, many forms of media was trying to hit the gold with zombies. With that being The Walking Dead or video games like Dead Rising and all the others, someone thought what would go good with zombies? A chainsaw wielding cheerleader, of course. And the game I'm talking about is Lollipop Chainsaw. In this hack and slash game, you play as Juliet Starling, voiced by Tara Strong, a zombie hunter, and on her 18th birthday, she goes to meet with her boyfriend Nick. But a zombie outbreak happens, and while looking for Nick, he was bitten trying to protect her. So, preventing Nick from turning into a zombie, Juliet does what any 18-year-old would do, and that's decapitating him. Don't worry, Nick's still alive, but just a head. And I bet you're wondering, well, how is that possible? Well, she did it with love and some dark magic, but mostly love. Gameplay-wise, this game is really fun. You have the basic melee attacks, and then you can use the chainsaw for a fun kill. You can also earn gold medals and can spend them to level up Juliet for new moves and combos. Lollipop Chainsaw was developed by Grasshopper Manufacturing. That's the same people who made No More Heroes, one of my favorite games on the Switch. And honestly, while researching this, I'm really surprised. Like back then, I did notice that both games had like some type of same feel to it, but I never thought to really look into it. But that being said, Lollipop Chainsaw was a really unique game, using a character type that no one really expect, and a chainsaw. Come on, it's a fucking chainsaw. This game got really good reception in Japan too, getting a 9 out of 10 from most reviews. And on top of that, when it was time for DLC, Japan showed their love by giving them 5 different costumes from different animes. Forgive this butchering, please. Such costumes as Manu from Menu Hiking, Shiro from Dead Man Wonderland, Haruna from Is This a Zombie? Makes sense if you think about it. And Rei and Seiko from High School of the Dead, another popular zombie killing media franchise that people love, especially me, and saddened that we will never get a season 2. RIP, my man. Other than the DLC, Lollipop Chainsaw and High School DxD did a cross promotion, having a promotional art drawing Juliet in the High School of the Dead art style. I believe it was in some games too that you get the promotional art. And for a game with this much love, is one of the hardest games to get. Like, look at these prices, man. But one day I'll own my own copy. Until then, I hope you can cheer me on.
Throw magic stars at chupacabras with your tongue?
Maybe, Dad. Nick's tongue is very limber.
How do you know that?
When gods betray you, what length would you go to seek revenge? That's the story of Ashuras Wrath. I'm actually surprised we haven't got any type of remaster or deluxe edition for this game. Like, this game was such a cool game to play back in the day, back when I had my PS3. Granted, I only had the demo, but let me tell you, I played the shit out of that demo. I think it was only 2 levels, but I played the shit out of them. I even did my own speed runs with those 2 levels. In Ashuras Wrath is a game where you play as the demigod himself, Ashura. And in the game, you get framed by your fellow demigods. So you have to seek revenge. With the game taking elements from Hindu and Buddha's mythology, you can say that this game is like God of War, but I don't. Comparing these 2 games just by that is so wrong. You see, in the game, it's more of an episodic series, and it being shifted from a third-person action game, and then it has actual rail shooting moments. And on top of it, with its interactive cutscenes and QuickTime events, only real gamers ask for less at this point when it comes to this. I know most people remember it for its QuickTime events, but with Spider-Man PS4 being a thing, I don't see the problem with this game being remastered. Ashuras Wrath was developed by CyberConnect 2 and published by Capcom. The team wanted to make a game that everyone could understand, and it's something that everyone can relate to. They even took some inspiration from manga and games that they liked, such as Dragon Ball, Naruto. So they thought, how interesting would it be to make this into a game? The game was first announced in the Tokyo Game Show in September 10th, 2010. The trailer showed the title character battling many enemies before being confronted by a planet-sized godlike being. And in February of 2012, that's when we will get our hands on this masterpiece. And like I said before, it's weird that we never got any type of re-release, especially since this is a Capcom game, and Capcom loves re-releasing their older games. Hell, it's not like Ashuras Wrath wasn't really a fun IP in the development team. They even had some really cool DLC where you fight against Ryu and Akuma in the moon, but that's just the DLC. Speaking of which, there is some controversial about the DLC in the game where the real ending is in the DLC and a few other chapters. So I guess that's where the fans have a bad taste about this game. But honestly, I would love to see Ashuras Wrath come back. Not only the game was really fun to play with, a character like Ashura is like one of those IPs that is like could go down with the greats. And quick time events was really fun to play with. But what do you guys think? Would you like to see any of these games get a re-release? And is there any other games you would like to see come back? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. And yeah, peace.